Wow! What is up, YouTube? Welcome to this Legion review. So, I've gone from Logan to Legion. I know we've had an Arrow video in between, but shut up! So, Logan was absolutely fantastic, and you can check that video on my channel as well, as we are on the X-Men category there. So, if you're new, please do drop that subscribe. Please do drop that like at the end before you go. Shut the door before you go. So, Legion is continuing to be the most insane show on TV. Now, weirdly, this show reminds me of Outcast. I don't know if you saw that. That was a Cinemax show. I think it was Cinemax. I'm not really sure because it was on FX over here on the UK. But it's just the way that it's so fucking weird. So, we had the show open with Mrs. Bird's husband, who is in a diving suit frozen. He is on the astral plane in an ice cube, wearing a white suit, and is a jazz enthusiast. Wow, that is fucking mental. Oh, and he's played by Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords. Yeah, so this is just all kinds of mad. And I completely forgot that Jermaine Clement was actually going to be in this show until I actually watched this episode, sorry. So, very cool seeing this character and this actor on this show. I absolutely love Jermaine Clement a bit. He is fantastic. And in my head, I've got a film which I definitely want my subscribers, you guys, to check out, where he plays a fiction author, which is pretty weird. But I can't remember exactly off the top of my head what that film is actually called, but it's definitely worth checking out. And of course, it's also worth checking out What We Do in the Shadows as well. So, this episode is absolutely insane. And so, this is the story. This is the mission. We have them trying to work out what the life for David was like before he went to Clockworks, before he sort of went crazy or was perceived as going crazy. So, mentalness abound at this episode, and really you cannot take anything for granted in this episode. You can't take any of it at face value. You have to take this whole episode with a pinch of salt, because really, this is not how we see it. This whole show is one huge whole step after step of changing, unravelling, putting things in boxes, show them to you again. So the major thing for this episode is the fact that Lenny wasn't his drug dealer. So originally, Lenny's character was going to be a 50-year-old bald guy in the show until Aubrey Plaza was actually cast. So I think that this is a huge misdirect, and I think that, well, who the hell is Lenny really? And it does seem like Lenny is the sort of thing, the problems, it has all the problems for David and leads David astray more times than we care to imagine. And perhaps Lenny has something to do with the evil-eyed, the yellow-eyed beast that is present at every single problem with David. And I think there is a connection there somewhat. Maybe it is a different personality. But again, you can't take this show at face value, because Lenny could then turn up and be someone else. But the problem is, Sid actually saw Lenny and recognised the fact that Lenny actually died. But is this true? This is the problem with this show. It's becoming to the point where, is any of this actually real? What is happening? What point is real? Where does the astral plane start? I mean, you could be forgiven for thinking this mission wasn't inside memories and was out in the real world. It just bleeds all into one kind of dream, like where you wake up from a dream and you're like, what's going on? Where does it all start and end? And this show is fantastically stylised, and I think that they do a great job of showing the kind of mind and the mind's eye. And one problem I think for this show is that, well, I would probably or appreciate more of a cohesive plot and actual storytelling narrative, as well as all of this crazy sort of weird, trippy, psychedelic stuff that is happening. And maybe once David actually comes out of his coma, which we don't know how long he will actually be in this for, because, well, he's got the brain activity, but we don't know exactly where he is. Well, we kind of do. He's on the astral plane. Whatever that is this even real? And you just have to question absolutely everything in this show, because it's just getting even more mental. And I think if you just sit there and absorb the show instead of trying to get a story, then you'll enjoy it a lot more, I think. And I think that this maybe will turn a lot of people off this show, sadly, because I think where we're going in this show is going to get very, very interesting as the war heats up between Division and the Summerland Army, so to speak, for use of a better term, or lack of a better term even. So, madness abounds, and I'm really hoping that they kind of ground the show a bit moving forward, because I don't think you can keep this momentum of madness going for much longer than maybe 1 or even 2 episodes at the most, the very, very most. But a good episode nonetheless. So that's it for this video. Please do drop a like, please do subscribe. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.